Chosen one, stop. Do not scroll past this. Heaven is not asking. I am warning you. What I am about to reveal was sealed in the throne room of heaven until this exact second. If you leave before the end, you will miss the one divine instruction that could determine the next decade of your life. Heaven did not interrupt your moment to entertain you. Heaven interrupted to reassign you. God Himself dispatched this message to your screen because there is a mandate on your life that can no longer wait. And if you ignore what is about to be spoken, what was meant to accelerate, you will pass you by. You did not find this message. This message found you. This is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. Out of millions scrolling right now, Heaven selected you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are trusted. God has evaluated your capacity and found you reliable. He has measured your faithfulness and found you ready. That feeling in your chest right now, that sudden weight, that inner stirring that will not let you look away, that is not anxiety, that is confirmation. Heaven has been watching you, and Heaven says your season of waiting for clarity is officially over. Your assignment has arrived. Before we go further, if your spirit confirms this word, act on it now. Like this message as your agreement with Heaven. Subscribe so you do not miss the next prophetic instruction God releases through this channel. Drop your city and nation in the comments so we can see where the remnant is rising across the earth. And to those who are supporting and sowing into this ministry, whether through the link pinned in the comment section or super thanks, understand this: you are not just supporting a message, you are partnering with a mandate. Your seed is a prophetic yes that says, God, I accept the reassignment, and Heaven honors that covenant. Now, stay with me. Do not scroll away, because in the next moments, we are going to expose what this divine reassignment actually is, why Heaven made it non-negotiable, and what will happen in your life when you finally obey. Chosen one, Heaven has seen your silent battles. God knows about the confusion that has weighed on you for months, the feeling of being busy but not purposeful, the exhaustion of doing everything right but still feeling misaligned. He recorded every night you lay awake wondering why the doors were not opening, why the breakthrough kept stalling, why the prayers felt like they were hitting the ceiling and falling back down. Heaven knows about the financial pressure that drained you while you were still trying to find your footing, the bills that multiplied while your clarity decreased, the jobs that paid your rent but starved your calling. God saw every betrayal, the people who smiled at your face while speaking death behind your back, the ones you trusted with your vision who used your vulnerability as ammunition, the relationships that promised loyalty but delivered devastation. He knows about the health battles you fought in silence, the symptoms that doctors could not explain, the chronic fatigue that became your normal, the anxiety that ambushed you at 3 a.m. when no one was watching, the depression that whispered you would never find your purpose. Heaven documented every tear you shed while watching others succeed in the very thing you knew God called you to do, the jealousy you hated yourself for feeling, the confusion of knowing you were made for more but not knowing when more would arrive. You carried the weight of a calling no one around you could see. You tried to explain your vision to people who did not have the spiritual vocabulary to understand it. You sat in rooms full of people and still felt utterly alone because no one could touch the depth of what God placed inside you. You questioned God in the dark. You whispered prayers that felt like they dissolved before they reached the ceiling. You smiled in public while dying inside. And the worst part was the confusion, not knowing if you were being punished or prepared, not knowing if the silence meant God had abandoned you or was about to surprise you. Chosen one, hear this with your whole spirit. You were never abandoned. You were never forgotten. You were being reinforced for something so significant that Heaven had to guard you in a season of pressure until the timing was exact. You thought no one noticed, but the Father recorded every single moment, and today, heaven says, enough. Do not skip this. What comes next is the revelation your spirit has been waiting for. Chosen one, listen with your soul, not just your ears. Many people think reassignment means correction. They assume that when God shifts their role, changes their focus, or increases their responsibility, heaven. But in the kingdom, reassignment does not mean demotion. Reassignment means trust. God does not give heavy assignments to people he does not trust. He does not place serious responsibility on those who are unstable. When God reassigns you, he is saying you have proven faithful where you were. Now I can trust you with more. That is why the weight feels heavier. That is why distractions feel more dangerous. That is why comfort no longer satisfies you. Greater oil requires stronger structure. Greater influence requires deeper roots. Greater assignment requires a stronger inner life. God is not rushing you. He is reinforcing you. What you are sensing right now, the pressure, the urgency, the inner stirring, is not confusion. Confusion scatters. This feeling is focused. It has direction. It has weight. It is purpose knocking from the inside, asking to be released at the right time and in the right way. There is a reason your tolerance for distraction has changed. There is a reason certain things no longer fit. There is a reason comfort feels less appealing than clarity. God is recalibrating you for what is next, not punishing you for where you have been. Pay close attention to this part. Heaven is now releasing 7 divine instructions for this season of reassignment. Do not skip a single one. Each instruction carries a specific promise.
Chosen one, this message you about to hear is a divine revelation from the throne room of heaven. What you are sensing right now is not imagination. It is not emotion. It is alignment. God himself arranged this moment because there is a specific window of time tied to your destiny, and heaven does not want you confused, distracted, or unprepared. What is coming is not random. God said it is all planned for the end of January. There are things you have been questioning, delays you couldn't explain, doors that refused to open no matter how hard you prayed. But hear this clearly. The silence was not denial, and the delay was not rejection. Heaven was scheduling. God was positioning people, shifting circumstances, and closing paths that would have cost you later. What looks slow on earth has been strategic in heaven. Nothing about your life right now is accidental. When God gives a time marker, it means preparation has already begun behind the scenes. Angels are already assigned. Resistance has already been addressed. The pieces you couldn't see are moving into place. By the end of January, clarity will replace confusion. Direction will replace uncertainty, and what felt like waiting will suddenly feel like acceleration. This is not hype. This is heaven keeping an appointment it already booked. Before we go further, if your spirit confirms this word, act on it now. Like this message as your agreement. Subscribe so you don't miss the next word heaven releases. Drop your city and nation in the comments so we can see where the remnant is rising. And for those who are supporting us and sowing into this prophetic ministry, whether through the link pinned in the comment section or the super thanks feature, understand this. You are not just a giver, you are a co-laborer. We are partners in this divine assignment. Your seed is not random. It is a prophetic yes. It is you saying, God, I trust your timing and I align with what you have planned. May your seed speak in places your voice cannot reach and secure doors you haven't even knocked on yet. Now stay with me. Don't scroll away, because in the next moments, we are going to go deeper into what God has planned, why it had to wait until the end of January, and how to position yourself so you don't miss what heaven has already decided. When you hear this fully, you'll understand why God refused to let you pass this moment by. Chosen one, understand this first and do not rush past it. Not everyone will feel the weight of this message. Not everyone will grasp the urgency of this word. Not everyone will recognize the fire that rests within it. That does not make others inferior. It simply means this word is not addressed to everyone. Heaven speaks selectively when assignment is involved. Some hear sound, others hear summons. Jesus himself made this distinction clear in Matthew 13:1 when he said, "The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them." This statement was not rooted in pride or exclusion, it was rooted in purpose. Revelation is given according to calling. God entrusts deeper truth to those who are meant to carry it, not merely observe it. This is not arrogance, this is assignment. Curiosity listens casually, calling listens carefully. If this message stirs something in you, if it feels weighty, pressing, or impossible to ignore, it is because something in you recognizes heaven's frequency. You are not reacting emotionally, you are responding spiritually. Your spirit knows when it is being addressed directly. Your spirit is responding before your mind fully understands, and that order matters. God speaks to identity before information. He awakens who you are before he explains what you must do. Understanding will come, but recognition comes first. And the fact that you recognize this word is evidence that you are meant to hear it, not as a spectator, but as one who has been chosen to respond. One of the greatest lies the enemy uses against the chosen is the lie of delay. He does not usually deny God outright. Instead, he questions God's timing. He whispers, "If God was really with you, it would have happened already." He points at others and says, "Look, they're moving ahead of you." He taunts your mind with, "You're running out of time." These thoughts are designed to create anxiety, comparison, and discouragement, but they are rooted in a false understanding of how God works. God is not bound by clocks, calendars, or human timelines. He authored time itself. Time answers to him, not the other way around. What feels slow to you is not late to God. What feels delayed is often being deliberately protected. God does not rush outcomes that require maturity, alignment, and readiness. He is far more concerned with when something happens than how fast it happens. Scripture makes this unmistakably clear in Galatians 4:4, which says, "But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son." Notice that phrase, fullness of time. Jesus did not come early, and he did not come late. He came at the precise moment when prophecy, preparation, and purpose aligned perfectly. Heaven waited until timing itself was complete. So when God says it's all planned by the end of January, he is not guessing, testing, or adjusting on the fly. He is declaring precision. He is telling you the timing is mature, the conditions are aligned, and the preparation is complete. What is coming is not late. It is exact, and because it is exact, it will arrive with power, clarity, and lasting impact. The end of January represents something deeply prophetic, not just chronological. January is a threshold month. It stands at the doorway between intention and manifestation. It is where expectation meets reality, where declarations made at the beginning of the year are tested by daily obedience. January reveals what is genuine. January is also where hope is tested by patience. Many people begin the year with excitement, clarity, and confidence, but as days pass and results do not appear immediately, doubt tries to settle in. Prayers feel unanswered, momentum feels slow, enthusiasm fades. This is not accidental, it is revealing. The weight exposes what kind of faith a person is carrying. Faith that celebrates beginnings or faith that endures process. That is why God often moves at the end, not the beginning. Beginnings attract crowds, but endings reveal commitment. God separates those who only start with faith from those who finish with trust. Anyone can believe when things are fresh and hopeful. Fewer can believe when patience is required. End-of-season faith is heavier, pure, and more mature, and God responds to that kind of faith. Scripture confirms this principle in James 1:4, which says, "Let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." God allows the wait not to frustrate you, but to finish you. He uses patience to deepen capacity, so that when the blessing arrives, it does not overwhelm you. What comes at the end of January is not just a gift, it is something you are now strong enough to sustain. Chosen one, let this truth burn into your mind and settle deep in your spirit. When God is silent, he is never idle. Silence is not absence, and it is certainly not rejection. God does his deepest work in silence because construction requires focus, not noise. While you wait, heaven is moving. While you wonder, God is working. His silence is not a pause, it is preparation unfolding where you cannot yet see it. Behind the scenes, God is rearranging systems, hearts, doors, and destinies. He is aligning people you haven't met yet, removing obstacles you don't know existed, and preparing outcomes you could not have planned on your own. Silence protects the process from interference. If you saw everything God was doing at once, you might rush, interfere, or rely on yourself instead of trusting Him fully. Think of Joseph. He was silent in the pit, silent in the prison, silent while forgotten by those he helped. No explanations, no timelines, no updates. Yet heaven was busy every single moment. God was positioning Joseph, shaping his character, and aligning him with a future role that required wisdom, restraint, and endurance. Silence was not delay. It was development. Years later, Joseph could finally say, in Genesis 50:20, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." What once felt like wasted time revealed itself as intentional training. Every silent season refined Joseph so he could carry authority without arrogance and power without bitterness. What felt hidden was actually strategic. God often hides His greatest works until the last moment, so no flesh can take credit. Silence removes human boasting and magnifies divine precision. When the breakthrough comes, it will be clear that it could not have been orchestrated by human effort alone. What you thought was wasted time was actually hidden construction. And when God finishes what He's building, the result will speak louder than any explanation ever could. Many people chase emotional highs, believing that intensity equals progress. But God does not build destinies on feelings. He establishes them on appointments. Emotional moments rise and fall, but divine schedules stand firm. What God is preparing for you is not dependent on your mood today or how confident you sound tomorrow. It is anchored in His authority, not your emotional state. This is why peace, not hype, often surrounds real breakthrough. When God plans something, it does not depend on your mood. It does not depend on your strength. It does not depend on who supports you or who doubts you. Human variables do not control divine outcomes. God is not waiting for you to feel perfect, bold, or fearless before He moves. He moves according to His word and His timing, not your emotional readiness. Scripture makes this unshakably clear in Isaiah 55:11, where God says, "So shall my word be that goes forth from my mouth. It shall not return to me void." That means when God speaks, execution follows. His word carries completion within it. It does not come back empty-handed. It accomplishes exactly what He sent it to do, regardless of resistance, delay, or doubt. So if God said it's planned, heaven has already signed off on it. What you are waiting for is not approval, it is manifestation. The decision has already been made in the spiritual realm. The schedule has already been set. What feels uncertain to you is settled in heaven. This is not wishful thinking, it is divine order.